Good morning or this afternoon for those of you on the East Coast. I'm Carol Yeh-Garner, and I am one of your leaders of the Rise Beyond the Rank group. And one of the things that I am super passionate about is the power of your mind. So, in my former life before Young Living, I was a social worker. I loved empowering people to become the best versions of themselves. And then that morphed into me teaching hypnobirthing, which I used for both of my babies, where you learn self-hypnosis techniques so you can have a natural birth. Totally had two successful natural births with that and loved it so much that I ended up teaching it for 7.5 years. While I was teaching hypnobirthing, I also became certified as a clinical hypnotherapist and found that that was way more effective than any kind of talk therapy that I had ever done. And one of the things that became so apparent to me is that we are not taught the power of our minds. We're not taught how to think the right way. We really aren't taught how to think, right? We just kind of live our lives and we end up thinking about all the worst case scenarios. It must be something that's tied into like our survival, whatever, like the brain, part of the brain that's always in like survival mode. But I want to teach you all the three laws of the mind because I think it's just so powerful to understand that you are actually creating stuff in your life. And if you can take responsibility for the thoughts that are going in your head, you can completely shift the way that your life is going and what your future will look like. So if you haven't listened to the Hillarys, Hillary Hod, Hillary Lefevre's, their videos, their intro videos, I met them at the kickoff event, and they made me cry because they told me that when they heard my talk at the Unconvention way back in probably 2014 or 2015 or something like that, that when I talked about the three laws of the mind and I did a guided imagery to help people get rid of their blockages, that they actually were able to see beyond their dreams, like to see that they could actually do this as a legit business. And then when they got home, they were so motivated, they ranked up. Whereas before, they really weren't thinking about this business very seriously. So just to show you that some of our leaders have heard me talk about this, my team hears me talk about this topic all the time because I think it's so important. So let's get to business here. I'm gonna see if I can. I cannot share my screen. Okay. Well, we're not gonna share my screen, but okay. There are three laws of the mind, and first, before I even get into that part, I want to talk about the fact that we have two parts of our brain. Okay, so we have our conscious mind and our subconscious mind. So our conscious mind is a part of our brain that's constantly thinking. It's the part that we're aware of. It's the part that's like the rational, planning, thinking part of our brain. Okay, but it's also the part of our brain that goes to like the worst case scenario and plan A through Z, like especially if you're a mom or a woman, we tend to like think of like all the things that can go wrong and then plan out all the worst case scenarios, right? So our conscious mind is that thinking, planning, rational part of our mind, sometimes irrational part of our mind. Our subconscious mind is the really powerful part. So our subconscious mind has two parts. One part is the part of our brain that controls all of our bodily functions. So it makes sure that we're breathing, right? And that when we're sleeping, our breathing is slower, our heart rate is slower, that when we're up and we're active, our breathing is more deep, it's more quick, and our heart rate is faster. When we eat something, we chew it, but are we consciously thinking beyond like swallowing? Are we consciously thinking like, okay, stomach acid, now start like breaking down that food. And now like sphincter of the stomach, now let that food like slowly go into my intestines. Now intestines start like breaking down that food. We don't consciously think about so many things that happen in our body. And the body just does it on its own, right? So the subconscious mind just does it on its own because the subconscious mind knows what's supposed to be happening for our body. So we have all these bodily functions that the subconscious mind is taking care of. So that's one part of the subconscious mind. The other part of the subconscious mind is the really, really powerful part. It is the memory keeper of your life. So every single experience that you've ever had from birth till now has been recorded in your brain. And every time we have a repetitive event, or every time we have a really emotionally impactful event, whether that's a positive emotion or a negative emotion event, it gets recorded into our brain like a program gets recorded into a computer. So every time we have told ourselves like, oh, I can't do this business because of this, that, and the other, or every time someone else told you like, you can't do that, that's crazy. All of those things get recorded. And the more times we've said things to ourselves, or the more times that we've heard things said to us, those get recorded and get more powerful. So in a little bit, you're going to understand why this is so amazing that we can shift this, okay? So our brains are malleable, and even as we age, we can actually create new neural pathways in our brain. So those programs, those recordings of the doubt, of the fear of rejection, of the whatever, of the statements that we've told ourselves over and over and over throughout our lives, we can shift and create a new neural pathway that's healthier, that's more positive, that sees ourselves as successful. And I'm going to teach you how to do that in a little bit. So you've got the conscious mind, which is that rational thinking, planning part. Then you've got the subconscious mind, the part that takes care of all your bodily functions, and then the part that is the memory keeper. So if you think about it kind of like your computer, when you're on your laptop, it's plugged in, or maybe it's got the battery going, right? And we type something in, or we click to open up, Instagram or Facebook or whatever. We can consciously see the words that we're typing, but we don't see like the background programming that's actually putting the letters up on the screen, or moving the mouse, or clicking and allowing the computer to link up to Instagram or Facebook or whatever, right? So the conscious mind is kind of like the screen, it's what you see. The subconscious mind is like all the programming of the computer in the back end, the part that really makes everything run. So we're going to change the programming. I'm going to teach you how you can change the programming and create new programs, new neural pathways for your brain to function on, so that you can live your life feeling more in control, so you can live your life succeeding beyond your wildest dreams, and so you can live your life so that you can build this business in a way that grows and grows, and you can pour into your team so that you are the kind of leader that empowers other leaders within your team. So the first rule or law of the mind is every thought creates a physical or chemical change. Okay, every single thought creates a physical or chemical change. So I want you to comment in the comment section, how many thoughts do you think we think per day? All of the thoughts. How many thoughts do you think that is? Go ahead and comment in the comment box how many thoughts you think we think per day. Like hundreds, thousands, Tens of thousands. What do you think it is? There's obviously a little bit of a lag. Okay, 10,000. Somebody says a million, 90,000. Okay, 100,000, 1,000. Okay, so researchers have shown that we typically think about 20 to 30,000 thoughts per day. Okay, Sylvia got it right because she's heard this talk a lot. We think 20 to 30,000 thoughts a day, but are we consciously aware of every single thought? 20 to 30,000 thoughts? That would be like really crazy making for our heads. But if you think about it, like that little voice in the back of your head that's constantly talking and telling you like, no, you shouldn't do that. No, like I'd rather have cake. You shouldn't eat that. You know, like all those little tiny whispers in the back of your head, that's your inner voice talking to you. All of those thoughts that we're not really that conscious of add up to 20 or 30,000 thoughts. And if the law of the mind is that every single thought that you have creates some kind of physical or chemical change, 20 to 30,000 thoughts is a whole lot of thoughts to be creating physical and chemical changes, right? So let me give you a couple examples of how a thought can create a physical or chemical change. So here goes the lemon story. So I want you to just quickly close your eyes, or for those of my team that are deaf and need to watch the screen, because we're going to have ASL interpretation soon of this video, just stare at the screen kind of blankly and read the ASL. Okay, so close your eyes and just think of a kitchen. Maybe it's your kitchen, maybe it's your mom or your grandmom's kitchen, just a beautiful, lovely, safe, comforting space, a kitchen, countertop, and on the countertop, there's a cutting board, and on the cutting board is a lemon. And next to the cutting board is a knife. So I want you to go ahead and cut the lemon in half. And then I want you to take the lemon up to your nose and just take a big old whiff of that lemon. And through your nose, you can just smell the brightness, the citrusy, lemony smell of that lemon. And then I want you to go ahead and imagine that you're sinking your teeth into that lemon half, and the lemon juice is running into your mouth, and you can taste that sour lemon juice, and it's actually making your jaw kind of like tingle, and your saliva is coming into your mouth more because that sourness is really hitting your tongue now. And maybe even you have like that sour looking face, that your mouth is pursing up, your face is just contracting because of that sour taste of the lemon juice. Now go ahead and open your eyes and comment below, how did you cut your lemon? If your lemon was here, did you cut it this way? Did you cut it this way? Whose kitchen were you in? What did it look like? So your imagination is super creative, right? And it's able to take you to different places and experience different things, and to cut a lemon that wasn't there, right? So how many of you could smell the lemon when you took that big old whiff of the lemon? Somebody cut it right and left halves. Okay, good. Yeah, sorry, I'm seeing that in the comments, people thought it was a Zoom. I think I might have commented that it was a Zoom. Sorry. It's a Facebook Live, clearly. Sorry for the confusion. Okay, so somebody cut it from top to bottom. Don't know whose kitchen it was. Somebody cut it perpendicular, left and right, and was in their childhood kitchen. Half forward, backwards, cut in half, top to bottom. Okay. So how many of you could smell the lemon when you brought it to your nose? And when you took a bite of it, sunk your teeth into it, did you get that sour feeling in your mouth? Did you get the saliva running through your mouth? Did you feel that, like, ooh, that feeling of bitterness or sourness in your mouth? Okay, totally could smell the lemon and taste the lemon. Okay, I was in my own kitchen. Great. My old kitchen, cut it vertically. My kitchen looking out the window. Excellent. Okay, someone has a scratchy throat from the lemon. So I told you a story. Mouth watered immediately. Yeah. I told you a story. You closed your eyes. Your subconscious mind loves imagery. It loves experiencing things. Okay, so I told you a story. I got creative. Go to the kitchen, cut it, all that, right? And you smelled it. You sunk your teeth into it. And people are saying that their mouths watered immediately. They could taste it. They could smell it. All those things, right? There's no lemon, right? So that just goes to show every thought creates a physical chemical change. I started talking about this lemon. I told you about this story, and it created a physical chemical change in you where you either smelled it or tasted it or both, right? So me just simply telling you this story created physical and chemical changes within you. So I'm going to tell you another little imagination story. Okay, I want you to imagine that this is a big chalkboard. If you're, I guess, over 25, you might not know what a chalkboard looks like or what the sound looks like. But if you're over 25, you probably will know. Okay, so just imagine this is a big chalkboard. And I have really long acrylic or gel nails, right? Really long, pointy nails. And I'm going to start just dragging my fingernails down that chalkboard to make that really irritating sound. Okay, so comment in the comment box if you got that like heebie-jeebie feeling, like the hairs on the back of your neck started sticking up or the hairs on your arms started sticking up. The story hurts my teeth, people already cringing, right? So somewhere in your lifetime, you heard that awful sound of fingernails going down a chalkboard, and you could already anticipate what I was going to say, and your body just started reacting, right? So just another simple example of me just telling you a story, your brain automatically hearing that, your subconscious mind being able to go into all those programs that are in your brain and find that file, find that program of nails on a chalkboard and create the chemical and physical changes for you to start cringing or for you to start clenching your teeth or for you to just get chills, right? So every single thought we have, 20 to 30,000 thoughts, you guys, creates physical and chemical changes in our brain. Like that is just mind expanding to know, right? One more really important story that I want to tell you. You won't experience anything, so you're off the hook for this. There was an experiment to show the effect of the placebo effect. Okay, so the placebo effect is something that is just super important to understand in terms of this law. Every thought creates a physical chemical change. The placebo effect is something that medical experiments have to take into account. Every time they do a medical experiment, a proper medical experiment, they have to do a control group and a treatment group, right? Everybody in the experiment has the same symptoms or illness, but the control group gets no treatment. They get a sugar pill, they get water, something, like nothing in it that actually is going to do anything. And then the treatment group gets the experimental treatment. And the scientists that are doing the study then are able to look at the control group, the people that still have the same illness or symptoms as the treatment group, and see, is there a statistically different outcome of the people that got the treatment versus the control group. But even within that control group, there's a small percentage of people that will have a successful outcome just because they know that they're in this experiment. They're hopeful that they're going to get the treatment, and they're actually taking something, a sugar pill, or they're getting some kind of treatment. They're doing some kind of action that makes them think that they could possibly be getting the treatment. And their brain says, they say to their brain, I'm getting the treatment. I'm going to get well. I'm getting the treatment. I'm taking this pill. I hope it works. Whatever it is that they tell themselves in this control group that gets no treatment whatsoever, the scientists have to take into account that in the control group, the placebo effect will take effect, and there will be a small percentage of people that will have the same successful outcome as the people that got the treatment, even though that they didn't get the treatment. Okay? So scientists did this one experiment. I don't know how they ethically did it, but they did it, where people that needed arthroscopic knee surgery got divided into two groups. So arthroscopic knee surgery is where they go in the knee cavity with these like cameras and scopes and just kind of clean things out because people are having pain in their knee. So they took half of the group, did the actual surgery. They took the other half of the group and did a fake surgery. So they still put people in a room. They put a drape so that they couldn't see below their waist. The doctor's on the other side of the sheet. They've got their doctor coat on, which already gives them some authority. They cut a surface cut where the cuts would normally go, where the scopes would go in. The doctor is actually there, like putting something there and making it, like the person can still kind of feel something because they're just numbed from the waist down. They're not completely put under. So they can feel some pressure in their knee. And then they had a camera, a TV screen in the room as if it was like inside that person's knee, but it was someone else's knee, right? So they're inside fake, inside the person's knee. The doctor's on the other side saying like, oh, look, here's the area of your knee that's bothering you. Look, we're going to get rid of it. And they do whatever they need to do, flush it out, sew them up, and never tell them like, you actually, all you got was like this surface little cut, sewed you up. Nothing actually was done. So guess what the success rate was between the people that got the fake surgery and the people that got the actual surgery that removed and cleaned out part of their knee? It was actually the same success rate, which is mind-boggling, that someone that didn't get anything done physically, that went in, was having so much pain, they needed and wanted surgery, didn't get a surgery, but was told they got a surgery. They laid there and thought that they got a surgery. They saw it on the screen that was the inside of their knee, even though it was someone else's inside of the knee. They heard the doctor tell them, your knee is going to be healed. But they didn't get anything done. But they thought it in their brain. They saw it, they experienced it as real, and they thought, for real, I just got whatever was causing my knee pain to be removed, and now it's gone, and now my knee will heal, and now my knee won't bother me. Okay? So the thoughts and the experience that they had made them think they got a real surgery, and it caused the physical and chemical changes in their body to create healing. So if someone can have a fake surgery and create healing in a knee that was causing them so much pain they thought they needed surgery, think of what we are not accessing, right? We're not accessing the way that we need to be thinking about our lives, about our relationships, about our business, about our ability to be successful, about our dreams coming true, right? We're not even accessing the tiniest bit of what is available to us. But I'm going to teach you how to do that. So let's move on to law number 2. Law number 2 is you can only think one thing at a time. You cannot think two things at the same time. When you think two things at the same time, your brain, your subconscious mind, goes, I don't know which one you want me to think. So I'm just gonna not, and I'm just gonna stay here till you give me a clear direction. So your subconscious mind always wants your highest and best good. It's always working and wanting to help you, but it can't help us if we're giving it conflicting messages. So how many of you, go ahead and comment, how many of you think thoughts like this? Like, I really want to get like all these things done today, but like I'm so busy and I'm so overwhelmed, I don't know if I'm going to get them done. I really, really want to rank up in my business, but like, I talk to everybody I know, and like, I don't have any brand partners, and like, I don't think I can do it. I hope that I can, go on this trip to wherever, but like, I don't know if I can go. It's like so expensive, and, there's so many things that I have to do, and right, we think the thought, but then our mind goes into like all the like, but what if this, what if that, but, and like worst case scenario, and like I can't do this, and I don't think I can do that, and like I've tried this and I've tried that, right? So we're constantly saying the thing that we desire or that we choose or what our goals are, but then we're canceling them out right afterwards by saying all that negative stuff right after. So your brain goes, well, which one do you want? Do you want to be successful or do you want to fail? Do you want to hit the rank or do you really not have anyone to build the business with? Do you want this or this? I don't know which one I want, you're wanting, so I'm just going to stay right here in the middle and stay stuck. So if you're feeling stuck in your business or your life or your relationships, I want you to really, really examine how you're thinking about them, because you're probably thinking these like ping-ponging back and forth conflicting thoughts, and your brain cannot function on conflicting thoughts. So what I encourage you to do is when you think about the thought of what you desire, what your goal is, go through all the worst case scenarios, plan it all out, get it all out of the way, and then shut the door to all that negativity. And know that like if and when you have to open the door to get to access any of those worst case scenarios that you've already planned out, because let's be real, we plan it all out, we plan out all the worst case scenarios and how we're going to manage all of them. But close the door and start focusing only on the goal that you choose or the thing that you desire. Any other thoughts that pop in, which inevitably they will, I want you to use this little tool. You're going to laugh because you're going to find that you're going to say it a bazillion times, especially if you're new to this concept. Every time you say a statement of what you desire, what your goals are, and that little voice comes and tells you, but you can't do it, you don't know, and the doubt and the fear and the whatever, all that comes in. I want you to say in your brain to yourself, cancel, cancel, delete, delete. Okay? Every time you say cancel, cancel, or delete, delete, it's going to break that pattern. Our brain is used to that pattern of you saying, I want this, but I choose this, but I hope this, but. So that program is super powerful in your brain. It becomes this like automatic background noise that we're just always saying, the 20 to 30,000 thoughts that we're constantly saying to ourselves, right? Most of those 20 to 30,000 thoughts are the subconscious that we're not even aware of. It's just like that background, low grade voice in the head that's constantly chattering back there, telling us we can't do it. So we've said that to ourselves for so long. But here's how you break it. You just say cancel, cancel, or delete, delete. And then replace it with the thought of what you do choose. I choose to grow my business successfully, sustainably, organically, in a way that's authentic to me. End of story. No what ifs, no buts, no worst case scenario. I hit blank rank by whatever month. Okay, maybe you don't hit the rank that month. It's okay. Extend it. Doesn't matter. Okay, but pick a date, pick a month, pick an actual time so that your brain knows what you really choose. Because if you're wishy-washy about it, like, I'm just gonna like be really vague so like I don't get disappointed, then your brain's gonna be like, well, okay, someday you'll get to silver, 3 years from now. But like if you want silver and you choose silver, let's do this, right? Let's tell the brain, let's tell the world, let's tell the universe, silver is mine. Claim it. You deserve it. You're going to work for it. You're going to grow your business. You're going to grow yourself. And you, any of us, can get to the goal that we desire and choose. Okay? So cancel, cancel, delete, delete. Let me give you a little example of how your brain does not work when you have two conflicting thoughts. So I assume most of you are sitting. I'm standing. But for those of you that are sitting, I want you to try to stand up. So go ahead and try to stand up. And tell me in the comment box what happened when you tried to stand up. So trying to stand up, what happens? So if I was sitting and I was trying to stand up, I would be telling myself, stand up, right? And so most people end up standing up. But actually that's wrong. Okay? Because if you're trying to stand up, if I pretend I'm sitting and I'm trying to stand up, I'm going to be struggling to stand up, right? But when you have two choices, stand up or not stand up, you told your brains, those of you who stood up, you told your brain told your body, stand up. And you stood up. Those of you that just stayed sitting probably just was like, whatever, I'm just going to sit. But trying to stand up looks like you're struggling, right? Because you're not standing up and you're not sitting. So when you stood up or when you stayed sitting, you made that decision. I'm going to stand up. I'm not going to try. I'm standing. I'm going to stand or I'm going to stay sitting. So there is no try. Okay. So 2 more words, delete, delete, cancel, cancel. Those are things you're going to start incorporating. 2 words I want you to get rid of are try and don't. You cannot try anything and be successful because your brain is like, huh? You want me to try to stand up? You want me to try to hit this rank? I don't understand what that means. What does trying to hit silver look like? Sort of half-assing everything. What does committing to hitting silver look like? You actually following through with things every day or every moment that you have time set aside to work on your business. See the difference? Trying, half-ass. Doing, committing, choosing means that your brain knows you are 100% committed to the task. Just like when I said, try to stand up. You were 100% committed to standing up or staying sitting. So trying to do anything doesn't work. Trying to lose weight, how many of us have done that? We might lose the weight, but we usually gain it back. So one little side note tip, if you're wanting to get rid of weight, instead of saying I'm trying to lose weight, if you lose something, you always want to find it, right? You lose your keys, you always find them. So instead of losing weight, you want to get rid of it forever, release it for whatever, that kind of thing. Just a little tweak in terms of your mindset. But if you're trying to lose weight, how many people have tried, known someone that's tried to quit smoking? They've tried and tried and tried all the things. But when I worked as a hypnotherapist, all these people would come to me to try to quit smoking. But I had to determine whether or not they really wanted to quit smoking. If they were committed to quitting smoking. And I made that session the most expensive session because I wanted someone who really wanted to get rid of their smoking addiction to pay, to like have the discomfort of paying an absorbent, like crazy amount of money for a 2.5 hour session, because I want them to make sure that they are committed to it. So get rid of try, right? Yoda said, try not do. You have to just say you're committed to doing whatever it is you choose. And the other word is don't. Other word that I want you to get rid of is don't. I don't want to fail. I don't want to get rejected. I don't. But what happens when you tell a little kid, don't touch that, or don't jump? They usually jump and then look at you like, what? They usually are touching the thing that you told them not to touch, or like about to touch it. And then you scream, don't touch that. And then they stop and then realize like, oh, I shouldn't do that, right? The brain, for whatever reason, does not compute the word don't. So when you say, I don't want to fail, your brain is hearing, I want to fail. I don't want to get rejected. I want to get rejected. How many of you remember like going to school or going to work and just being like, oh, like it's like cold and flu season. I don't want to get sick. I don't want to get sick. But then there's like someone over there like coughing and hacking, and you're like, oh gosh, like, oh, the germs, I'm going to get sick. I don't want to get sick. I don't want to get sick. I'm going to get sick. I don't want to get sick. And then you're constantly like, am I getting sick? I don't want to get sick. Your brain is saying, I want to get sick, and hearing, I want to get sick. And then you're constantly scanning your body for like all the symptoms of proof of how you're going to get sick. Oh my gosh, my throat. Like, is that like a tickle in my throat? Oh my gosh. Like, I just had to like clear my throat. Like, am I going to get a cough? Like all those things, right? And then we start thinking about like, oh my gosh, if I get sick, then this and that and this. And like, I don't want to get sick. I don't want to get sick. But your brain is hearing, I want to get sick. So I don't and try. Don't and try, just cancel those out. Get rid of those words from your vocabulary from this point on. Catch yourself, cancel, delete it, and then replace it with the thought of what you do desire or choose, okay? Law number 3 is every thought you have creates a physical, or no, that's law number 1. Law number 2 is you can only think one thing at a time. Law number 3 is your thoughts precede your reality. Your thoughts actually come before your reality, which is kind of like super weird for a lot of people, but scientists have shown this to be true. Your thoughts come before your reality. They create your reality. So scientists have now shown that our thoughts, those 20 to 30,000 thoughts that we think per day, actually are little waves of energy. We are energy, right? This bag of thieves lozenges is energy. This bottle of gratitude is energy. This desk, this computer is energy. We see it as a desk, as like a whole like hard mass thing. We all see our bodies as like a body. But energetically speaking, scientists have shown that we are all energy. This is all energy. And our thoughts are waves of energy. So 20 to 30,000 thoughts per day are not only creating physical and chemical changes in our body, but they're going out into the atmosphere. Every single thought that we have is a wave of energy that leaves our head. And the law of energy is that anything that leaves its original source comes back to its original source. So if all we're thinking are all these I don't statements, or I'm going to try, or all these negative worst case scenarios, right? All of the catastrophes that could happen if I start sharing authentically the way that I really know that I want to, and the way that I need to in order to grow my business. I'm going to get rejected. I'm going to get this. All of those thoughts are going out and then coming back to us and creating our reality. They're also creating physical and chemical changes that are creating the fight or flight response in our body, which makes us not able to really make good decisions. So if we can change our thinking, think of what we can create. If we can change our thinking to the point that we're accessing our thought process in a way that accesses our subconscious brain, the way that those people that got their knee healed from a fake surgery, think of what we can create in our world, in our life, in our family, in our situation, right? Like that is so empowering. I hope you guys really understand this concept that we are creating our own reality. And so, up until this point, if you didn't know this information, we typically just lived thinking life happened to us. But now you can understand that if our thoughts are creating our reality and going out and coming back and creating our reality, then we have the capability to create anything in our lives. Right? So, yeah, this is the real metaverse. In our brain, we can create this. We have more control than ever. Yes, weird things happen, bad things happen, and you can handle them. And you have the support of the people around you to help you through those hard times that we don't choose, right? That come into our life that are not by choice. However, why not think the things that we do choose and desire? Why not put the things out that we do want to have happen to us instead of putting out all that negativity, all the fear, all the doubt, all the what ifs and the big buts, right? So, we are creating our life. And so a couple examples of that are on a really, really like microscopic level. If you've ever seen Dr. Emoto's work with water, I'll post some pictures in the comment section of this post when I'm done. But Dr. Emoto did this whole series of stuff based on the science of a molecule of water. And so our bodies are like 70% water, right? So this is really important to know. So he took molecules of water and put words on the bottle. Well, he took water, put it in a bottle or a test tube or whatever, and put words on each test tube or bottle. And then he took water molecules and looked underneath a microscope to see and saw that when the words were words like love or gratitude or hope, the molecule of water looked like a beautiful snowflake, and each word had a completely different looking snowflake, but just gorgeous little water molecules formed like snowflakes. But then when the water had the words like hate or war or fear, the water molecules were like blobs and globs and didn't have a shape. So I just came across, my friend shared with me, somebody did a study on tears, because we cry for lots of different reasons, right? We cry out of grief, we cry because we're cutting onions, we cry for all these different reasons. And somebody did a study where they took the tears and looked at the tears under the microscope, and based on why you were crying, the tear molecules had different shapes. So the fact that we're 70% water means that those molecules are hearing all those messages that we're telling ourselves. And we tend to be pretty negative about ourselves, right? And doubtful and not good to ourselves. So let's start thinking about thoughts of us being capable, us being more than capable, us being successful, us being able to fail forward. We're going to fail. Everybody's going to fail. So let's not even think thoughts about like, I'm not going to fail. Like everyone's going to have failures. Just let's learn from those failures and take them as opportunities, see them as challenges to whatever you actually need to tweak and learn so that you can be successful, okay? So if water molecules can change how they look based on what a word is put on the bottle or what we're thinking when we're crying, we can shift those water molecules. Yeah, Lindsay said when she was going through Lyme, she used this technique of belief. Okay, so water molecules can change and create our reality. How many of you know someone that's super lucky and someone that's super unlucky? So, we go to this place called Osteo Strong. It's like this bone building thing. And they had this whole like raffle thing. We won something cool. But they were talking about this one woman who like won the grand prize, which was like a year-long membership. And the woman who was telling us, the employee, was like, yeah, she was so excited. But then she said, like, she always wins. She's won a car, she won the lottery, like several $100s in the lottery. She won this, she won like everything that she enters. This woman always wins. And then we all know someone who's like the worst luck person, right? Like every bad thing happens to them. They walk out the door and like car issues, like they're always getting sick, like, relationship problems, job problems, like every single time you talk to them, it's always like, oh my gosh, like the world is falling apart, right? If you went to go and ask each of them, like, what's your deal? Like, how are you so lucky? And how are you so unlucky? They would both say something to the effect of, I don't know, I always have been that way. I've always been that way. I did a giveaway at a big event that we did years ago. And I talked about this, and then we did a giveaway. And this woman came running up that won. And she's like, I usually am the unlucky one, but right when you said the giveaway, I said, I'm gonna win this. And then she won it. Okay. But typically she's always been the unlucky one. But she was able to experience that she was lucky in that moment. And then that changed her forever because she could see that she was creating this. Hillary says her mom is in Vegas now, always wins, and has no doubt that she will. So if we always are thinking that we are a certain way, I'm never going to get to the next rank, or I never am going to get any brand partners, or nobody wants to join me. What are we creating, you guys? We're not creating the kind of situation that we desire, so that's going to help us get to where we want to be. That's going to help us to get to the next rank, okay? So cancel, delete those thoughts and put in the thought of what you choose. I run into people all the time that want Young Living products. I have brand partners falling into my lap all the time. You can anchor it. So I have an anchor. There's always crows around. I think that's like my spirit animal. So there's always crows around, and they fly in these big, huge flocks. And whenever I am driving or I'm here in my office or whatever, and I see those flocks of crows, I always say, like, each one of those crows represents a new person that I personally enroll, or a new diamond that I'm going to help get to diamond, or a new brand partner that just falls into my lap. And inevitably, like within a couple days or a week, I have someone just like plop into my life, someone that probably has been like watching me for the last 8.5, 9 years. And I had no clue that they were even interested. So start putting the thoughts of what you choose that help you grow yourself, grow your business, create the life that you want, the life that you dream of, the relationships that you desire. Manifest them, bring them into your life, claim them. You deserve it. And the only way that you are going to create the life that you desire is by claiming it. Without the if, ands, or buts, without all the negative, cancel, delete, all that crap, and put in what you desire, what you choose. And it can be kind of scary for people because most of the time we really don't know what we want. We think we want that. We're trying for that. But when you actually claim it as yours, it's kind of different and heart-pounding and exciting. Okay? So those are the 3 laws of the mind. Super powerful stuff. I'm going to be doing an actual Zoom, sorry, the next time. I think it's on the 1st, after the big announcement that Young Living is going to make. Um, and I'm going to do a vision casting Zoom, so I'll be able to see all of you and interact with you a little bit better because there's the delay here on Facebook Live. But in that Zoom, I'm going to review the 3 laws of the mind really quickly. Hopefully everybody that joins the Zoom will have had time to watch this. And then I'm going to do a vision casting guided imagery exercise for you so that you can really see what life could look like if you claimed the wildest, biggest dreams of your life. And if you go watch Hillary Haas' intro, because when she went to that unconvention event, she listened to my guided imagery and they had us do an exercise where we drew where we are currently and where we choose to be or where we desire to be. And she had a dream and she manifested exactly the house that she's currently in, the 5 kids that she now has. I remember drawing where I was and what I wanted. I wanted a loving relationship with my husband and my kids, which at the time things were rocky because I was working so much on my business and burning myself out and basically ignoring my husband. And so I saw that and debt paid off and this big house with windows overlooking the ocean, but not too close because I didn't want it to be like if a tsunami or waves or whatever came. And we have this house that I never would have dreamed of that's like what I drew. Okay? So you can have whatever you desire. So claim it and use the power of your thoughts to help you get there because it's completely doable. And I hope that you are able to really take this information and play with it, and you're going to laugh at how many times you're canceling, deleting things in your brain, and that's okay. Like in the beginning, totally fine. You're going to be like probably canceling like almost every single thought that you have because we tend to think really negatively. But this is a great exercise for you to start learning how and what you're thinking. And then you're going to see how what you were thinking was creating the life that you currently have. But now that you know that you have this power, you can change the trajectory of your life and teach it to your friends. Teach this to your family. We've taught it to our kids, and my kids are like master manifestors. My daughter is like a crazy manifester. So thank you so much for joining me. I can't wait to do the vision casting guided imagery with you on an actual Zoom. Sorry for the confusion, because I think I did actually say this was going to be Zoom. Okay. Any questions that you have, comment in the comment section. I'm going to put the different photos of the water examples in there. And thank you. I can't wait for you guys to hear. For those of you in the US and Canada, the announcement that Young Living is going to have is going to be life-changing for you. And even those of you who are not in the US and Canada, I know that there's a lot of people from our Sweden team and from South Africa on here. This group is just going to help you grow. So whether or not you have access to whatever Young Living is going to share, we will be able to help you. Mexico team, we've got lots of people there too. So thanks again for joining me, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.